Hello, welcome to Xsyon. In today's video I want to show you how to tame an animal in Xsyon. And just as I say that, the animal that I was thinking of taming is all the way over there. I think we're okay. So how do you tame an animal in Xsyon? Well, if you look at your stats and your skills in this game, the stats for your character that are important for taming an animal are spirit and charm. So if you have a character like I do with high spirit and high charm, I would use that character. It will make it easier for you to tame animals. If you go in your skills, the skills tab, you go down, you will see you've got animal taming as part of the trade skills. You need to make sure it's got a plus next to it or the little square thing, because if it has a minus, it's actually going to go down. Then when it's up to 100, then if you lock it, then it will stay at 100 forever. Be aware that you can't. I don't think you can have all three of these at 100. I know that's the fact for the larger groups of skills. I assume it's the same here. You can't have all three at 100. So it would be better if you had a character that isn't using one of these other trade skills. Right, I'm going to leave that open so when I start the taming, you can actually see the effect it has on my animal taming skill. The next thing you need to do, you see in the right hand side of my screen, I've got all these icons. This one here says number 6, forage mode. You need to be in forage mode. If you are not, you just need to right click, or you need to press the number 6 on your keyboard until you get to forage mode. Then you find somewhere grassy, right, a grassy area, and when you go over the grassy area and you're in forage mode, you see, then you will see these things that start to pop up. These things are called herbs, or in the game, this is what the people in the game like to call these. If you hear someone that is talking about herbs, this is what they're talking about. So you need to get herbs for you to feed animals in order to tame them. Unless it's a cat, if you want to tame a cat, you need to get some fish. Everything else, it seems, is fine with herbs. You see all the herbs have run out, no problem. You press 6, 6, 6 until you get back into the forage mode and you see more herbs have magically appeared. So I would do this until you have a decent amount of herbs. I have got a character which has a high foraging skill. If you also have that, I would recommend you use that character for foraging herbs. It'll be a lot faster. The herbs are also quite heavy, so you have basically two options. You can either just forage as many herbs as you can until you're maybe 75% encumbered. You see this black bar at the top. I'm at 48% right now. I wouldn't go any heavier than that because it would be hard for you to run. And then you could use that to feed animals and to tame animals. And then when you run out, you can start to forage again. Some people like to do this anyway because they don't find this as boring. What I did is I actually got my other character to forage 1,000 herbs and then to have them in this cart because they're very heavy but they're fine in a cart. So if you have a cart, this is something else you could do. Right, so when you have your herbs in your inventory, you find the animal, and look, he's run away. Just as I want to start to tame him, he's running away. So you can click on the animal that you want to tame. Actually, you don't have to be that close to them. And then you will see when you have clicked on it and it's got an orange circle around it, you see there's this horse icon. You click on the horse icon, you go to feed. Now, if you click on the arrow, it will show you this bar here, which will show lots of food items in your inventory. So if you right click on one of the herbs you want to feed this animal, and then it will basically transfer it into the first box. Then you right click again and it will feed the animal like that. Right click again and it will feed, and you can see that my animal taming skill is going up. And usually that animal, when you start feeding it, will want to come near you, which is kind of helpful if you want to lead it to somewhere where you have more food. So my animal taming is 67.5 right now. If I feed again, and it will say that he enjoyed this food, 67.54. I feed again, 67.57. At the beginning you will find it goes up really fast, but the more it goes up, the slower it is for it to increase. Now, one thing I would say is I would keep an eye on your yellow XP bar on the left side. When this is over 1,000, you will get free green points, or this is what the players in the game like to call them, green points. Then when you have these green points, if you were to click the plus button here at the bottom right hand side of your screen, you click on that and it will show you how many green points you have. Unfortunately, I only have one. But hopefully if you know, after you've been feeding a lot of animals a lot and you've filled up that bar a few times, you'll get more than that. And then you find the animal taming skill, and then you basically use this arrow on the right side and you add all your green points. That's a good way for you to do this a lot faster. I believe you can only use green points up to about 60 or 70 skill, something like that. So if you have the green points, I'd use them as soon as you can. So we're feeding this animal, and you can see the green bar here is called the like or the love bar. When that is up to 100, that's when you're able to tame the animal. Now, one thing I would say is I would look at the pets tab. You see in the bottom right hand side of my screen there's an icon that looks like the head of a dog. If you click on it, it will bring up the active pets tab. You cannot have any other active pets if you are trying to tame one. So you just want to check that, and then just going to feed it one more time. And then the final thing I'll say is that when you're attempting to tame an animal, usually, well, as soon as you have clicked the tame button, there'll be a green bar that pops up. And then when the green bar gets to 0, I would then click on the animal again as fast as you can, because they have a tendency to run off, so that then even if it attempts to run off, you can feed it again and it will come back. Of course, if the tame is successful, he will hang around you and you can command him. But if not, you don't want the animal to run away, because you can actually carry on feeding the animal and increasing your animal taming skill. And the dog has gone now. Perfect timing. Oh, he's over there again. There he is. So yeah, I mean, I found with my base, I've been quite fortunate that there's always been some animal around. But yeah, I would say that when you're first trying to tame, if you're a low level, I would highly recommend that you try something with lower health points or HP. Oh, is this a different dog? Oh, I think I was feeding this dog before, and he's a bit annoyed now, I think. That's funny. But yeah, basically, whether you are able to tame an animal is based on their HP, their health points. So if you were to click on this one, you see he's got 300 HP. So that would be harder for someone to tame if they have a low level skill. So I would first start off with things like rabbits, squirrels, or even a puppy, anything that has the lower HP. Okay, so now I'm going to be able to finally show you how to tame an animal. So again, I'm clicked on it. I go to the icon here, the horse icon. I go to feed. You see, even though he ran off, I can still feed him and he will come back. I can choose something else to feed him. When the green like bar is 100, it will turn to a love bar. I will click on the tame. You can see the green bar. I'm going to get ready to click on him in case he runs away. And then I can go to feed and feed him again, because look, he tried to run away. There you go. And then if you feed him, he will come back, you see. So then you can actually carry on feeding. Now, if you go to the global chat here, this is where you can see whether you were successful in your tame. So it says, you failed to tame this dog. So that goes to show, even I've got quite a high animal taming skill, and I've got quite high charm and spirit, even I found it a little bit hard for me to tame this dog. There is a timer of 5 minutes. You can only tame a creature after 5 more minutes. If I attempted to tame him again, if I can speak, that would help, right? You see, it will say to me, I have to wait another 3.83 minutes. So basically, I would just keep feeding him until the timer has run down, and then you can have a go to tame him again. But to be honest, when I am a low level, I didn't actually attempt to tame a lot. I basically just stood near an animal and fed the animal and fed the animal and fed the animal, and this is how I've managed to get my animal taming up to 68 in about roughly 3 hours, maybe 4 hours, something like that. It doesn't really take very long. And then when I have higher skill at taming, that's when I can attempt to tame things like bears and things like that. But be aware that some of the more aggressive animals, such as bears, they might attempt to attack you. So it might be a good idea that you position yourself on a big rock, because you don't have to be right near the animal. So for example, even up here would work, because I don't think the dog would be able to come up here, but you don't have to be really, really near it for you to feed it. You can see I can still feed it when it's here. So if it's an aggressive animal, it would be better for you to be up somewhere. So there you go. I think I've explained everything about how to tame in this game. I hope you have enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.